Hi, guys. Hi, Hall H. How's it going? How's your Thursday treating you? Welcome. Oh, 6,500 of my favorite people. Thank you guys for being here. My name's Josh Horowitz. I host a podcast called Happy, Sad, Confused. But tonight, thank you. Tonight, it is my true honor. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, honestly, guys. We're closing out Thursday, opening day, at San Diego Comic-Con with 4 absolute legends, right? The 4 gentlemen I'm about to bring on stage are, over the last few decades, have contributed so much to comedy, to animation. They are writers, they are performers, they are subversives, they are everything we love that celebrates everything that is Comic-Con. So I just want to say that they also, by the way, have a few amazing shows that you might have heard of. Should I mention them for you guys to remind you? There's a little show called South Park that's, you've heard of it, good. So you might know that season 27 premiered last night on Comedy Central. That's by now we are at 322 episodes of South Park, 7 made for streaming events with 60 billion minutes watched every year worldwide. Digman premiered last night, season 2 from the great Andy Samberg on Comedy Central. Amazing show. Both of these series, South Park and Digman, will be on Wednesdays going forward on Comedy Central, so make sure to check it out. Also, great news today, Beavis and Butt-Head, guys. Beavis and Butt-Head is going to be premiering, season 3 will be premiering Wednesday, September 3rd on Comedy Central. Pretty cool. Okay, we've got 4 chairs to fill with 4 absolute icons. Should we do this thing? Here we go, guys. Give it up for executive producer, co-creator, and star of Digman. It's Andy Samberg, everybody! Please give yes! We have the writer, the creator, the star of Beavis and Butt-Head. It's Mike Judge, everybody! Come on, Mike! And we have the creators, the writers, the stars of South Park. Give it up. It's Matt Stone and Trey Parker, everybody. Come on. Hi, guys. Welcome. Okay, we have a lot to talk about. But I just want to get some accolades out of the way. You can, earmuffs if you want. But I just want to acknowledge this moment because, like I said, these 4 have never been on stage together. Sitting on this stage, we have one of the great SNL performers of all time, of course. The collected film work on this stage includes Team America, Office Space, Idiocracy, and Pop Star. The television work, besides the shows I already mentioned, include King of the Hill, Silicon Valley, and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And we have a 9-time Broadway Tony Award-winning show accredited on stage, too. So, yeah. Now we're out of time. So thank you guys for coming. Okay, before we dive into talking about all your respective careers and overlaps, et cetera, did anybody here see South Park last night? Just curious. Guys, did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of it?
We're terribly sorry.
Fair enough. We'll leave it there. It's all good. Okay, what is the history, what is the overlap between the 4 of you? Is there history between the 4 of you?
With Mike there, actually, when we first were getting maybe a deal to do South Park, we got to, I don't know where we met. Do you remember where we met?
Once at the Four Seasons, maybe?
Yeah.
The bottom,
But we were like, hey, we're going to do this anime. And we were huge Beavis and Butt-Head fans. Like, we just thought it was the coolest thing. And we're like, we want to do something like that. And he was just so cool to us. And we hadn't done anything, but he really helped us back in the day.
I'd seen the Spirit of Christmas. Is that what it's called? Yeah, oh my God. So, Yeah, I think, was it David Gale, MTV Films? It was around the time the Beavis and Butt-head movie was coming out. And you guys came to the premiere, too.
Yep.
And met Isaac Hayes, I think, or saw him play, chef, you know. Okay.
But I mean, you guys like shared very rarefied air. There weren't a lot of people doing what you were doing, so it must have been interesting to see like a kindred spirit across the way.
No, I mean when we were in college, there was like when Trey and I were in college, like Beavis and Butt-head was everything. The Simpsons too; those were completely like groundbreaking. You weren't supposed to be able to do that kind of stuff. So you know, when we got to meet Mike, that was, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do what we were doing unless he was already doing it before, for sure. And Andy, I met him, I don't know, we met a few years ago. He was a youngin'.
Yeah, we met like once.
Hey, you know what? You're a smart guy. You should try comedy. Remember that?
He's a young whippersnapper that's done
like,
two
hey,
seasons
hey.
of.
And then he did it. Look at him.
They were like, hey, you should go for it. And I was like, okay.
If it wasn't for me, I don't know. I don't know what Andy would have done.
I mean,
Yet another accolade to add to your resume is Andy Samberg's career. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
It was good advice, frankly.
Did you grow up animation, comedy? Like, was it all, like, what were your inspirations
I mean,
growing up?
them, like truly. And it, you know, it's not lost on me how weird it is to be on a panel with them. Like, Beavis and Butt-head in South Park for me in high school and college was it. Like, period. That was what we fucking did, you know? Like, every single time a new South Park was coming on, we would get together because we were like, here it comes. Like, it was, both those shows are the most groundbreaking stuff ever. And if you care about comedy, they're all-time, like, Mount Rushmore things. Yeah.
For Matt, Trey, and Mike, I mean, it's rare for someone working in animation to become a recognizable figure, like a celebrity in your own right. But you guys have become that. Do you remember that shift, the first time you started to literally be recognized by fans for what you were creating?
I think I have a pretty forgettable face, and I really don't get recognized much at all. Like, there was the first time it freaked me out, was at an airport, I think. Well, I did Letterman in '93, and I remember thinking maybe I wasn't going to do it. It'd be better to be not known, and Beavis and Butt-head was controversial. And then after I did it, I was walking around going, oh, shit, okay, now I can't go anywhere. I'm going to be, and then no one recognized me. And then the next day I went Christmas shopping at the mall in Albuquerque, and was anyone watching? Come on, man. And then finally someone recognized me, but it doesn't, I have normal life. I mean, do you guys get recognized much? After basketball?
By guys. That was always the thing, is like, I'm older now, but it wasn't that great to be just recognized by guys.
Oh, yeah, it's always guys. Yeah, of course.
Some people recognize me, but they're all guys.
I was walking the floor for like 2 hours with my daughter, and it was great. Like, Comic-Con fans are the best fans ever because it's like, you can just walk around. It's like, it's so cool. And I think, definitely a couple people, came up, but they're just like, oh, hey man, whatever. And it was like, it was so great to walk around. It's like, it's pretty great in animation to have that level. I mean, Andy doesn't know this, but like, to have that level where it's like, you can go anywhere and people don't really know who you are, but then you can say your name and get into a nice table or something. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty perfect, perfect life.
Ask Andy what he thinks. He has a different experience.
I was going to say it's wild to me because I get fucking mobbed here. Like, truly cannot relate to anything you guys are saying.
Well, but even though your voices, though, I mean, Mike, I would imagine some people even just hear your voice and it keys something in their brain.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was with my daughters at a picnic table at outside a coffee place in Austin, and all I did was clear my throat. I just went, and someone turns around without seeing, goes, Mike Judge, you sound like, it sounded like Beavis. And I've booking a hotel or something, and someone recognizes my voice. I just sound like Butt-head, but yeah.
Do any of you guys ever bust a voice out to get a perk?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
get a perk.
Like drop a little voice into something and be like, I'm not getting where I want with this thing. I'll be like, do a little.
Yeah, I try not to, but
I might have done that once.
But it's funny because when South Park started, when I would do Randy wasn't a very big part of the show, but I was doing an impersonation of my dad, which was basically my voice, except just a little bit like this. And now I just talk like that, like I'm just doing an impersonation of myself. So.
So we talked to Andy about his influences growing up. What about for you gentlemen? Were you looking at comedy generally, animation? What were your big creative inspirations growing up before you were even getting into the business?
I mean, for me and Trey, we met over Monty Python. It's not no secret. Like we said, that's just the truth. And just in this day of, when PBS is getting their funding cut, I have to say, that's how I found Monty Python. I mean, better or worse, it was on PBS in Colorado. I think I kind of think of this. It was on Wednesday nights when
It was Thursday nights.
Thursday nights. So but it was I had a black and white TV in my bedroom, and Flying Circus was on, and that was everything for me. That was the beginning and end of it. You know what I mean? Still to this day. So I'd say that's how we bonded on that. Yeah, Monty Python.
Me as well. Monty Python came on. I was in junior high, in Albuquerque, and yeah, PBS of all places. Like what the hell is this thing? It was it would come on Sunday nights, and then me and my friends would talk about it the next day. And the Terry Gilliam's animation too. There's something really. Well, cutout animation. What these guys do. Yeah, you take these Renaissance paintings and chop them up, and the mouths are moving. I just thought it was amazing. But yeah, also for me, National Lampoon magazine, a lot of the cartoons, the comics that were in there, I thought, why can't this kind of stuff be animated? Because animation was really bad in the 80s, unless you went to an animation festival, and then you'd see really cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, those were two of my big ones, I'd say.
I mean, by now, so much has been said and written about the origins of your shows. Are you guys on the same page about the origin story for South Park? If I asked each of you individually, does it line up? Do you have any differing memories of how the show came about?
Me and Trey?
It was 60 years ago. I don't
test
remember.
Us or something? The Newlywed Show. You can test us. Okay. I think we'd match. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
What do you remember being the spark that created South Park these years later?
I think we were in film school at the University of Colorado, and they didn't have much of a film school at the time. In fact, I don't think they even had a film major until the second year we were there. But we were taking film classes, and there was a really great experimental filmmaker there named Stan Brakhage, who was very well known for his avant-garde stuff. He was the coolest guy too, but a lot of people went there thinking they were going to make very serious art pieces. And Matt and I were the only two guys there that wanted to do fart jokes on film. And so, again, we bonded over because we loved Monty Python so much, and we were making little films in college. And one of them was using Terry Gilliam's style and using cutouts and making these young boys, fighting with Santa Claus and Jesus. And so that was just one of the things, that we did in college. So
it must be mind-boggling, the trajectory of that Spirit of Christmas and where it took off. I mean, when you look back to those early days, put me in your shoes, put me in your head of what it was like to be in the nexus of that becoming what it did, especially in the first couple of years.
Yeah, it was before viral existed. There was no viral anything because the internet was kind of just coming about when we came out, and the VHS of Spirit of Christmas was what went viral. It went crazy, and everyone knew this VHS that were going. Meanwhile, Matt and I are sleeping on people's couches in LA trying to get meetings, and it got so big and it got around to us all the way that we were at some random party, and these guys are like, "Hey, we're gonna watch this video," and they put it on, and we're like, "Oh, we did that," because no one put their names on it, and they're like, "Yeah, no, shut up. We met the guys that did this." And we were like, no, we did. And apparently there were these other guys going around town saying they had done it and pitching it and getting jobs. And then we ended up proving it that we did it, and then...
And I do want to apologize for that. Way out of line.
Right.
Way out of line. And
Not cool.
We've buried it.
Right. Who was the other guy? Was it just...
It was me and Keeve. No, but we had that VHS.
You?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Mike, how many people have claimed credit for being the inspiration for Beavis and Butt-head? Has like every like friend from childhood said, yeah, in retrospect, yeah, that was me?
Oh, quite a few, but none of the ones who actually were. Like, it's never, it's, yeah, and it's not, there's no one-to-one, like Beavis is this guy, Butt-head is that guy. There's, like I could name like 12 different people and different, it started out as me trying to draw this guy he sat in front of calculus class, and I don't know, I think I told this story last time I was here, so I apologize. But we had a friend of mine said, hey, there's this really hot new teacher, and like no one had ever heard of a hot teacher, and it turned out she was actually a former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, and she was like teaching calculus, and this kid sat in the front of the class, and he was just so nerdy and just so into her, and he would be writing really fast and biting his bottom lip and just going and just be laughing at everything she said, and she wasn't saying anything funny. And I started imitating him in the back of the class, and then just caught on, and other people were imitating him. And I was just trying to draw him, and it turned into something else. Beavis was one version, Butt-head was another, and I just liked the way they looked. And so the only thing I kept from that guy was the laugh, and he's a nuclear engineer now, so he's nothing like Beavis. I mean, maybe he's going to make a bomb or something, I don't know. But people claim, I was the inspiration, and they're usually just some jock who had nothing to do with it or something.
In retrospect, what do you think the smartest creative decision you guys made way back when that has behooved you well in these decades later? Can you pinpoint anything because like most shows, period, in animation or live action, don't last, as we know, don't have the staying power.
I think drawing it
What's that?
Drawing it was the best decision.
Yeah.
Just being animated. Yeah, just being animated. I mean,
because it's timeless and they don't age, and it's
like they just don't age. Right? I mean, everyone knows that. That's why these shows have existed. Except for Gunsmoke, which lasted a long time. But I mean, these animated, being able to draw them and put them back in a drawer and bring them out again. That's why, right? I mean, really, that's why they last. That was probably a good creative decision. I mean, we were never animators coming up. We thought we were comedy guys. It turns out we were like more animators, but that turned out to be the right decision because we've got to create these characters and stick with them for a long time.
And for us too, it was animating in 2D, because still to this day, I mean, as we sit right now, I promise this is true. We were at South Park this morning trying to figure out what next week's show is going to be. So right now, we don't know. So, but that's how the show's always been, and because it's animated the way it is, we can sculpt it and build it, and we do it a lot like they did SNL. I think it's a lot. The more we learn about their schedule, it seems like it's pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, except they had to get on live TV. Yeah. That's fucking crazy, by the way. Like how stressed we get, like to get to the end of our week and have to go live.
I think making a story that makes sense that fast is much harder, having done both.
Well, we haven't done that. Have we done that?
But you're gonna.
Oh, no, you guys always have, yeah.
I mean, if it's bad this week, it's clearly everyone here's fault. That's what we're saying. It's not going to be bad. It's never bad.
Talk a little bit about the creative process and the timeline, because you all work on probably different timelines. South Park especially is a very unique process. We all know that. Has that evolved? Has it changed? I want to hear from you too, Mike, in terms of like the way you do Beavis and Butt-head. Does the timeline, the process, has it changed much in the last couple decades?
Yeah, and it's changing a lot right now, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of the same way we used to. I mean, we send it, the final stuff is done overseas. But wait, didn't you guys was it the first one you still did with actual film, paper, and cutouts?
Yeah, the pilot episode we still did with construction paper.
And ever since then, that was...
Yeah.
Computers, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that took us like a year and a half. And we had to get that down to 6 days. Yeah.
But yeah, it takes, you do an animatic, you do storyboards, and you record first. It's the same process. I think they had computer in betweening, and it looked horrible for a long time. And I still love the way film looks, and it's getting a little faster for the way we do it.
And Trey and Matt, again, very unique, needless to say, what you do. How did you create the bizarre timeline, and is it stressful? I mean, it seems like it's very stressful the way you
Dude, I don't know what the episode is next week. It's super stressful. And even like last weekend, I mean, just 3 days ago, we were sitting there going, I don't know if people are going to like this. And we're just changing as we go, and we're reading stuff in the newspaper. We're like, oh, okay, let's put that in there. And but I think what's great for animators today is that it's all, we started doing it where we could do everything in our building. So everything from the writing to the creation of every frame to the sound to everything is all done in one building. So we can go, oh, we should change this to this, and we run into the thing and we do it. And it sounds like, Andy, for you, it was kind of done at home the first thing during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, our first season was mostly done at home.
Yeah.
By like everyone, every part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remotely, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Zooms.
Yeah. And it lets you touch every part. It lets you sculpt a show, because it is so nice to be able to do something and react to it. I still can't write a scene and then be like, oh, that's going to be good. Or like, let's work on the scene on this. I have to see it. And the quicker I can see it, animatics, okay, kind of helps, but you still don't know. Then you see it, but we can see it animated, and I can go, oh, you know what? Change that to Cartman, have him do this, go over here, have a car come in and do that, and I can see it in like 2.5 hours. Completely different, you know what I mean? So that's the beauty of it, and that's how much we can sculpt it.
I mean, the perils, though, also of doing something that is so often tied to topicality is, do you ever run up against it and you're like, oh, wait, some new event has just rendered what we're talking about moot, or it's just different?
I think it's the opposite. I think we feel, I don't know, I feel like competitive with whatever all the kids are doing on TikTok and YouTube, right? I mean, this is like thing is, I feel like, at least me or Trey and Mike, not Andy, he's young. We're old over here. We're cranky old men. I just keep it, sorry.
I have Benjamin buttons.
No, I'm jealous of the tools the kids have today. I'm not, it's incredible. Like, I mean, not to bring up AI, but like just the editing, like you can edit and put stuff on your phone, what they're doing with music on, what took us so much longer. Now, again, the kids or people nowadays have these creative tools. It's great. And I feel more competitive with like, shit, you look online, you go, that's a great joke someone just did right now on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever. So I think, I don't know, like, again, I'm competitive, or like that turns me on, or that's something that keeps us going, is actually the topicality's gotten probably more competitive. Yeah. I mean, everyone's doing it, right? It's not just SNL anymore. SNL's like they're online on Friday night going, uh-oh, like somebody did my joke or whatever, right?
They're doing sketches about TikToks.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. And they're good, but you're like, fuck, that's what people are talking about.
I mean, the timeline, the innovation, it reminds me in some ways of the viral videos that you guys did way back when. I mean, you essentially were the first like comedy YouTube stars, what you guys were doing with Lazy Sunday, et cetera. I mean, that must have been such an adrenaline rush to like essentially have a few days and get something on the air, similar to what they probably feel being in the thick of it. Do you feel that kind of connection with that, with what they're talking about in terms of timeline and the rush and the immediacy?
Yes, definitely. I mean, yes. But I think, for us, it was much more about timing. Like, SNL was always something everyone would talk about if they liked stuff. It would just be more like, over a period of time, everyone would go, I really think I'm going to get a T-shirt that says making copies. Like... I finally reached my point where I love it that much, whereas now you can just see it a million times the next day, whereas it used to be you have to wait until it ran again, and then that's why SNL used to do the same characters over and over and over again, because there was no place to rewatch it, so it was like, oh God, I get to watch this character a second time, the second time they do it, and so for us it was more like YouTube became a thing everyone knew about kind of the day after the Narnia one. And we had really, really good timing with it.
For you, Digman is your first foray into creating an animated show. Was this on the list for a while, and what was the germ of this show in particular?
Me and my friend Neil Campbell, who I created it with, really wanted to do an animated show, and he wrote on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and we would talk about this show during that even. I did a Nick Cage impression on SNL, and I was basically like, I'm not on SNL anymore, but I want to keep doing that character. So we kind of reverse engineered it to like archaeologists movies, National Treasures, Indiana Joneses, and stuff like that, and kind of went from there.
Are you up for doing 25, 30 seasons like these guys?
God, I would do anything to do that, yeah. It is pretty amazing for me to be on here for my show that just aired the first episode of the second season with them, but I'm going to just roll it.
We'll come back in like 28 years when you're celebrating your 30th, and you guys are in your like 55th or whatever, and we'll just keep talking.
Sounds
It's all good.
That's a date. It's a date.
That'd be really cool of us for you guys to invite us to that, and we come out in wheelchairs and stuff. That'd be really nice of you. Just touching your thinking about that. Thank you.
Who's the keeper of like the knowledge of South Park and Beavis and Butt-Head? Is there like a show Bible? And you create such a giant volume of material. Like I would imagine
It's pretty much it's them because because what we just
Wikipedia.
go on the internet and we're just like, oh, what does everyone say again? And it's like we can look on any kind of South Park fan base or whatever and find, oh yeah, we did that. That's who that kid's mom is. That's who that that random kid. It's like, what did his mom do for a living? We'll just go on the internet and you guys have said it. It's like, oh yeah, right.
do you guys ever pitch an idea for a show and then realize, wait, we kind of did that already? Like 17 years ago, I did that.
Every week. And we know, let's do it anyway.
It happened today. Or if it's not a whole episode, it's a storyline. Did we do that? Oh, yeah. No, he already fell in love with a robot. We can't do that again. It's like, that happened today. Yep. No, we already did. Yep, no, can't do that again. Yeah.
I mean, Mike, you did take a break from Beavis and Butt-Head for a while. Has like coming back to it in recent years, I don't know, did you need a break from those characters? Was that?
Yeah, I needed a break. Well, I mean, it was also, I don't know, not to bash on MTV or anyway. It was we had just such a kind of ugly relationship for a while, and also just we were doing way too many too fast. I mean, we did over 100 in 1 year at one point, I think. Like, so there was it was just like no quality control, and but I loved doing it, and I was relieved to be done. But then I don't know. Over the years, yeah, I did kind of miss it, and I mean, to your other question, like when we rebooted it, because I don't sit around and draw them, I don't sit around and do the voices or anything, so I did have all the model sheets in a drawer somewhere, and it was a good thing because no one else had them. Like, I mean, if you own a franchise like one of these animated shows, like what do you own? There's the way the characters move and those drawings, and so luckily I'd kept them all. But I think your question was, yeah, no, I did. I guess I felt like I needed a break at the time, but I did kind of miss doing it, so I was happy to do it again, yeah. And I also do the same thing. I look up, I just ask the fans, or just Google it, and like, if I can't remember something, which happens a lot, it's all out there.
Yeah, I would argue another reason why these shows have staying power is like you've maintained creative control. Like it's not like you've farmed out to a dozen other writers. These are like auteur-driven projects. Has that been something, again, is that a bit of luck, happenstance? Was it kind of like baked into the concept, like this is going to be us or bust?
For us, it's like we always like to think we were a band more than anything, and it was like when we go into a new season, it's just like we're getting in the studio together, and we have no idea what's going to come out. We have no idea what this album's going to sound like, and every episode's kind of a song, you know what I mean? And they kind of like once you do a song, even based on last night, that show ended up a certain way, and we're like, oh, and now we can react to that, even ourselves, and it's like, and then when the season's done, we're like, okay, that album. That was a good album, or that was not such a great album, or whatever. But it's that creative thing. For us, we're either on or off. We can't just kind of do the show. We have to be in, and we're going, and it's on next week. We have to have that energy, or we're just too lazy otherwise.
Have you all had to protect the show from like brand expansions? I would imagine you've been pitched like live action versions of your shows innumerable times. Is that kind of thing tough to say no to? Because that seems like, to an executive, a no-brainer, for instance.
I mean, I don't know, but like, I'd like to hear your answer to that, actually. But I was going to, like, I've been, we, from the very beginning, pitched live-action Beavis and Butt-Head. And I've come close to wanting to do it. We did a kind of a casting session right as the pandemic started. And it's weird, like I'm open to it if something pops that, and there was like one guy doing Beavis, it was pretty funny. And then this SNL thing that just happened recently.
I was going to say, was the guy Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was like, I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that had me laughing. So I don't know, maybe, you never know.
I mean, you guys must have had so many moments like that. I want to hear the answers to the live action for you guys too, but I'm curious, like you mentioned like SNL, like your shows permeate pop culture and have for so long. You must have so many surreal moments where you see something pop up in the least likely place.
Yeah, I think the first one of those for me was watching, what was it? It was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in the 90s, True Lies or something, and he's like, I've got the Beavis and Butt-head following me, and like, whoa. And the show had just come out, like, there's been all kinds. It's always nice to see. But yeah, did anyone ever want to do live action South Park?
We've never been approached.
No, there's been a couple people online who've done AI versions of stuff.
Oh.
They're pretty. A couple of them are pretty funny, man.
Really?
No, they are. No, and I just never thought. I would never thought that would work. But seeing like what looks like a real, fat Cartman run around and call people names, it was pretty funny actually, But we've never done it seriously. That's just something I've seen.
I mean, it does beg the question what you could get away with live action versus animation. There is something safe to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if watching a little kid get hit by a bus and dying would be funny every week. If it was like, I mean,
We could
funny.
try.
But-
We could run a little test and see.
Has the creative process for you, Andy, been like totally different from anything you've done? I mean, you have less guardrails in some way. You're only as good as your imagination. You can basically do anything.
Yeah, in some ways. The scale of things is so much less than live action is the main thing I like about it. I would say a lot of stuff I've worked on, mostly with Keeve and Yorm because we do so much together. It's cartoon pace anyway. Like that's what we love. That's the reason I think animation is so good for comedy because it can go faster than people move. And I feel like our brains move a lot faster with comedy now than they used to. And we're like Generation SpongeBob out there now where you're watching a children's show that's genuinely really fast and funny. Like that's what people are coming up on. So I like being able to really jam the pace and jam a ton of jokes in and have the scale be bigger. But I would say generally it's always the same rule, which is if it's making us laugh, we'll just do it.
I was going to ask that. Like, is it basically making you and your collaborators laugh, or are you ever thinking about an audience out there?
I mean, it's you want to make it like that they can understand what's happening, but outside of that, it's pretty much like if this is getting us all laughing right now in this moment together, that is the only barometer we have, and it's the only thing that's ever worked.
Same thing for you guys? Like you're your own barometer, basically, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm even if they're not around, I'm just thinking like, oh, this would make friends of mine laugh, my brother, like my sister, like just sort of like. And also, I used to be a musician, and like when you're touring, like on a tour bus, that's like the toughest audience ever. Like you're not going to get any courtesy laughs. Sometimes I think about that, like how would this play among those assholes? Like, and if you can break through there, then you might have. You got to like, that's how I think of it, and then hopefully, obviously you hope that people out in the world like it. It usually works.
I can only imagine the notes you've gotten over the years. Do any stand out for you? Never a note. Never what? A note?
What?
The echo is severe in here.
Do any stick out? What's the most memorable note, the biggest fight you've had over a note for any of your shows or any of your work, Andy, or anything?
Notes from the studio.
No?
I mean, yeah.
Every week, you can't do that.
You just don't want to call us with a note.
Don't do
It's
that.
a bad idea.
Please, God, don't do that. Please don't do that. Those are usually the notes.
Yeah. Pretty please
For
with
the
sugar
love
on
of
top.
God, don't do that.
Did you get any notes for last night's episode?
Well, first of all, our producer, Ann Garofino, usually deals with them, not us. But it's always like, so, you know.
We love the episode, but
That's what happened. They're like, okay, but we're going to blur the penis. And I'm like, no, you're not going to blur the penis.
But we put eyes on the penis.
Yeah. It's like, what if we put little eyes on
If
it?
we put eyes on the penis, we won't blur it. And then that was a whole conversation with a lot of grown-up people for about 4 fucking days.
Because then it's a
And then-
character. It's a character.
That's how that happened.
I only saw one eye. Was there two?
So it had to be 2 eyes. I don't know why.
you should know in my stack of cards, I also have a subpoena for you tonight. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine, man. I'm ready.
Do you think audience taste has changed? Have you noticed a discernible change in what constitutes comedy now versus when any of you guys were starting out?
I mean, I would say one thing. I'd like what Andy just said. It's like the attention spans and what people expect, the speed of things. And I think that maybe we benefited with South Park that we just speed up our voices from speeding up a tape. We didn't think we were making everything go faster, but it goes pretty fast. I definitely think that that's like, you know, I just have kids now, and it's like, you got a minute, you got maybe 40 seconds to grab them, and they're like, oh, they're done. You know what I mean? So that definitely feels like, I just keep coming back to that word competitive with TikTok and YouTube and that attention span thing. So I definitely feel that.
When young people do come to you and ask you for advice, I want to get into animation. Do you have a go-to nowadays in terms of creatively which way to go?
No, it's so. I mean, I don't mean that. Flip it. It's just such a different world. I don't know. Like Trey. I mean, not to get all misty-eyed, but Trey and I had to get in a car and drive to LA to try to get into television. Like, you know, and now you don't have to do that, and that's good, you know. But I think that the world we came up in.
Yeah.
I just sound like an old man. Like, just work hard and try it again. All that shit. But it's
Yeah.
like it's totally different as far as
sounded
practical advice, you know.
I think the only thing that is exactly the same is if you want to make stuff, make it. Right. Like, it's impossible to pitch comedy. You have to show people why you're funny and in what way the people you're working with are making something unique. And I think now it's just like way more avenues to do that. But like, people are getting shows off of their TikToks now, and they're really funny. And you're like, great, so they had that, and that's how they showed how they were funny. And we all saw it and went, hey, I like that. That's funny. You know, like, it's really actually that simple. But you can never, people will never know how you're funny or if you're funny if you don't make something.
You all share something else in common in that you've enjoyed satirizing celebrity over your respective careers in different ways. Do anybody have a favorite public figure they have satirized over your careers?
Favorite satirization or favorite person we've satirized?
Person you've satirized. Or no, satirization. One
The
you've
first
enjoyed doing. Yes, that's sorry.
So it's not a nice to celebs question?
Nick Cage doing Nick Cage, is that top of the list? What's the...
It's high up for me, and he came on and did it with me, which was, you know, very SNL-y and winky and wonderful.
Yeah.
And I was very happy because I love him.
Yeah. Any go-to that you guys have enjoyed over the years? Has Matt Damon ever broken bread with you since Team America?
Now, Matt was super cool because he knows, too, like that all came out of the fact that we were making puppets of all in Team America, and they showed us the puppets, and I'm like, what's wrong with that puppet? The sculpt just came out weird. And I'm like, that doesn't look like Matt Damon. And like, we had to shoot that day. And I'm like, it looks like something's wrong with him. Like, I don't. And so the script was totally different. And it just got to that part, and I just did the thing. And I was like, well.
Look, we're talking about shows that have been very wildly successful in your careers, and you've also had that. You've also, look, in any career, you have successes that become, or you're lucky enough to have a success that becomes successful later on. I'm thinking of something like Pop Star or Office Space or Idiocracy. Does the long tail of these kind of projects soften the immediate injury of, wait, where was the audience? I made something great. Why are you only finding it now? Give me a sense of how you reconcile that.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, we're looking at you.
Well, yeah, since I've had the most failures that then went on to do something, I mean, when I've made those movies, I was trying to have a big hit right away. So, yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, Office Space really, because I fought so hard for every choice, all the music, they didn't like the music, they didn't like the cast, they didn't like anything much about it at one point. But so, and then to fight so hard and then have it not do well initially was a bummer. Yeah, it was a very sweet thing to have it. It took a long time.
But don't you feel okay that you're a prophet?
What's that?
That you're a prophet?
Yeah, let's talk idiocracy for a second.
I mean, it's true. I really do feel that. I'm not kidding.
Every day, everyone I know goes, it's really idiocracy.
Yeah.
It's really idiocracy.
No, man, for real. I don't mean that lightly. You're a fucking prophet.
A big part of our lives.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if. I guess that's sort of a mixed bag because it's nice to have people call me a prophet, but then the reason they're calling me that is not all that great. So, but yeah, that one. I remember we had our wardrobe person. I mean, it felt like the movie was cursed from the beginning. Like everything that could go wrong did, and it was like we had an impossible schedule, and then I feel like the curse just went out into the world after the movie came out. But like one of the things so the costume woman, I think Deborah McGuire was her name. You have to invent everything because it's in the future. So it's like, okay, she had these shoes that she said, Crocs were not out yet. She showed me some pictures. This is a startup in Colorado because the movie came out 2 years after we shot it. And I said, oh, those are great. They look stupid. They're like plastic. They got holes in them. And like, that's awesome, except that if they're really going to come out, you can't do it, right? And she said, oh, no one will ever buy these. It'll be over instantly. And I believed her. And then, of course, the movie comes out. Everyone's wearing Crocs in the real world. And then it kind of became a thing like, oh, that's funny that you put everyone in Crocs. And it wasn't what I intended. But then it was just one thing after another over the years of like, now there was like 4 years after it came out, there was some kind of coffee place that was like, they wore negligee and like shady like sex favors somewhere in Switzerland. I don't know, and then it just kept going. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah. Did you see like a shaman around the time you were writing? Were you taking any illicit drugs we need to know about? Because it is kind of unnerving, to be real.
Drugs. I was just sort of taking like my memory of like, okay, here's the way the world is going, and just keep going that direction for a couple centuries, and what would that yield?
And just out of curiosity, what was the name of the place in Switzerland?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, right on. Sounds stupid.
You were talking about like the healthy competition and seeing like the great talent out there. Who inspires you nowadays, whether it's in animation or comedy? Does anything come to mind that you see out there and say, you're doing it right, or in a different way than I could have ever conceived?
I laugh the most at YouTube now. I mean, I just watch. I'll just find some random person doing some random thing, and it reminds me so much of being in high school, being in college, making those movies, and you'll just stumble across something like, I don't know what. Lately, I'm watching, Choco Dogger, the dog that sits there, and the guy's got hands on it, and it's like a pit bull, and he's eating sandwiches. It's the greatest thing. It's the funniest thing ever, and I'll just watch that dog eat for like 2 hours. And I'm just like, this is awesome.
How can you compete with? I don't even know that. How can you compete with that?
There's a guy on TikTok. He's a really young guy doing an imitation of Tucker Carlson, and it's not even like he's just doing him like reading Dr. Dre lyrics, but it just makes me laugh. It's also like one of those imitations where it's like, oh, someone normally wouldn't think to do. It's not an obvious one, and he does it in a really great way. And I'm the same way. I'll just find these funny people on Instagram, and let's.
You were talking before about the specifics and like the uniqueness of where you were in your career and where pop culture was that got you your start. I mean, if you imagine starting today, given where we're at culturally in the business, do you think South Park would succeed? Would Beavis and Butt-head succeed if you're starting from scratch today, or was part of it just right place, right time? Yeah. We'll never know.
I mean, I just feel like, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows why these things work? And I think that's kind of the history of Hollywood is everyone tries all these shows and stuff. And I think even Trey and I, we feel grateful that somehow South Park works. Yeah. We've tried other things. They've sort of worked. Some things kind of work, but South Park works. And right? You don't know. I mean, no one knows why these things work. I mean that seriously. Like there's a little bit of like creation takes a little bit of lightning. So you're probably asking more a specific like cultural question, but no one knows why these things take off.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it, like, I mean, maybe some different version of what I do. I don't know. I mean, I'm still doing it, so I don't know. But I think it's what Andy said, like, if you just got to do something, if you're like, just, like whatever, you can't, it's hard to, you should probably avoid like pitching an idea to somebody. Just just do a thing, like that's always the best way. So yeah, if I was, I don't know what I would do if I was a youngster today. I'd be like one of those TikTok people.
Yeah, that's what Trey's talking about. The fearlessness of just people online, they just fuck around and go for it. And you're like, fuck, that's great. Why can't I fuck around and go for it? So, well, I got to go to work and I get kids and got to, pay a mortgage and stuff. And it's like these people, again, that's the fearlessness of it is the thing that I think I'm like, man, like, right? They're just go for it.
Yeah, you guys
They're
don't
crazy.
seem fearless at all anymore. You seem complacent and boring.
I know, but it's also like, to put a camera up in your kitchen and do some crazy shit and it takes you, I mean, that sounds fun, you know what I mean? And I guess like, we have a great gig, but I just really jealous and I don't know. I'm just like, I love that energy of people that just do some shit in their front yard and it's funny,
I do want to give a little love to the upcoming seasons for your respective shows. So second season, the show is fantastic. Digman, if you haven't checked it out, please do. Wednesdays on Comedy Central.
Thank you, guys.
What can we expect from the adventures of Rip Digman season 2?
Just a lot of laughs.
LOLs.
Just LOLs galore.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
No. It's awesome. It's awesome. Mike, the new season of Beavis and Butt-Head. Anything you can tease that you're tackling this season?
Any issues?
Whatever you want to say about it.
Let's see. I think Butthead has a heart attack. There's always that. There's more of them watching videos. It's very dumb. You've seen some of the clips there. It's really nothing's changed.
Describing the show is, they watch video.
See, this is why you have to like make something. See, this is back to what I was saying before. Yeah, I never. If I had to pitch Beavis and Butt-Head, it never would have. I can't pitch anything. That's why I just made cartoons in my house. That's how I started out, just doing thousands of drawings and to avoid having to have social interactions and.
You cracked the code, though. You did it.
Yeah.
Yes. What's on the whiteboard right now this season? Again, you're topical. You're fluid. Obviously, you're going to you change things around based on what's happening in the world. But
Who, us? The whiteboard's blank, dude. What a lot of people don't know, back in like February, right? We made they're like, oh, we need to do a promo for the summer. And we're like, what? Like, I don't know what we're going to do this summer. And they're like, no, we need to make a promo, announce that shows are going to come back. And we made a promo. We did this thing. South Park's coming back this night, and it showed a whole bunch of clips. We made it all up just for the promo. And everybody was like, everyone was going, oh man, those guys, they used to do, now they're just front loading shows. They're not going to be topical anymore. It's like, you seriously think we went and made a bunch of shows ahead of time and we're like banking them for later? Like, we've never done that. So we just made something up and we're like, this is what we're doing. And we're not doing any of that. None of that's like, so.
No politics.
no process.
None of that shit. We're not doing any of that shit.
Have you guys ever seriously talked about a full-on like crossover episode of Beavis and Butt-Head South Park? Is that
we talked about it a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah. Yeah, we never did it.
I think it was like the second or third season. We're like, oh, the boys should have to come over and Beavis and Butt-Head should have to come and babysit Cartman.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Kenny.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
something like that. We should do it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, that would be awesome.
We need ideas for shows. We have to do shows, so we'll take. Yeah.
I bet if you guys did that episode, Comedy Central would smush a Digman on it too.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Season 2!
Comedy Central's still a thing. That's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, still swinging.
It's still a thing.
It's a channel.
Comedy Central is alive and
Still a
well.
thing.
Yes, yes. I will say, speaking of Comedy Central, as to remind you guys, Digman season 2 premiered last night. Continues on Wednesdays on Comedy Central. South Park season 27. You know where to find it. Wednesdays on Comedy Central. And Beavis and Butt-head season 3 will premiere on Wednesday, September 3rd on Comedy Central. I know you guys will be watching. Before we wrap up this amazing panel, we have a kind of a nice surprise here. Senior Director of Programming, Eddie Ibrahim, I believe, is backstage and wanted to come out to say a couple quick words. Eddie, are you back there?
I am. I'm tricking you.
That's us.
Coming out the other side. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to come out. As many of you know, Comic-Con is not just about comics, but it's also about all forms of popular art. Obviously, animation is one of those. And I think Mike Judge might know what's about to happen, but it is my pleasure, come on out, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Comic-Con, to present Matt Stone and Trey Parker with the Comic-Con Inkpot Award for Excellence in Animation.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. That's cool.
We haven't gotten an
I guess we
award in
gotta-
a long time.
Weird. This is weird.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Trey, you got to give a speech. Right.
Thank you.
This is very cool. Thank you.
Amazing. Well-deserved, guys. Congratulations. Guys, give it up. 6,500 of you. I want to hear from you. Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Mike Judge, Andy Samberg. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I really did think this.